A Brock research paper on sports tourism was released and discussed on campus this week. Sports management master's student Chris Charlebois wrote the paper, More Than Money, leveraging the benefits of sports hosting in Niagara.
This was kind of a research area of interest to me because we hear so much about the value of events, and so it was kind of a neat way to try to look at a new way to be able to evaluate the overall impact of an event, because there's so much more than just kind of the overall economic impact that results from an event.
How do you hope that this research will be used moving forward?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I'm hopeful. There's not really a standardized way for us to measure impacts outside of economic impact. In Canada anyways, we kind of see the Canadian Sport Tourism Alliance's STEAM model as the industry standard for measuring economic impact, but trying to find other ways for us to kind of standardize the way that we measure social or environmental impacts. You can measure carbon footprints or energy consumption and so on and so forth. So it'd be great, ideally, in time to find a way to kind of create rankings of different events to see where they may compare to others on their overall impact as opposed to a one-dimensional factor.
Research collected from last year's Scotties Tournament of Hearts provided much of the data for the policy brief that was a partnership between the Niagara Community Observatory and Brock Centre for Sport Capacity.
The research we did at the Scotties was all about their perception of the impact. And the scores were quite high on recognizing, there is a positive impact for local businesses. People rated that pretty high. They don't need to know the exact numbers, but the sentiment is, there's some economic spin-off. Yes, it helps the image of our city and of our region. And it's good to see that people have that opinion.
Regional Chair Alan Caslin, Regional Councillor Tim Rigby, and Sue Moran of Venture Niagara listened to the findings before offering their thoughts to a packed room at the Cairns Complex.
There's a lot of money going here, there, and everywhere, but that's not strategic. And that's why I'm really excited about this policy brief, talking about a strategic plan or conversation to have a strategy. Not the loudest person gets the money or the one that makes a better case gets the money. It's what does Niagara want?
It is with great pride that I announce that the Canada Summer Games in 2021 are going to Niagara region.
The closing of the Niagara Sport Commission late last year suggests that there is a void in Niagara at present when it comes to attracting and coordinating sports events. Some of the panel discussion involved the need for replacing the commission, and if so, how it would function.
I think the conversation's going to be long, and because we have to talk to a lot of people. I think the Canada Summer Games that are being worked on right now need everybody's attention. Any type of organization could be the legacy of the Canada Summer Games. So when I said earlier that we're at that pivotal moment for Niagara to really be in the business of sport, our landscape will change once the games are done. Because of the games, our landscape will change. And maybe we need to mature to that point to really come out with this new partnership or organization, whatever that is.
What did we learn from the Niagara Sport Commission success and failure? How can we take that to recreate an entity in Niagara that can serve its role with greater sustainability? The big problem for the Commission was it was hard to sustain. If we can get a funding model where the Commission's on solid ground or a new entity and helps with this sport event hosting approach, I think we can come out ahead.
In Niagara, you're watching The Source.
City of Welland, etc.